bi-weekly webcast. So here I'm on site in Southern California, just doing a promotional trailer for one of my tech courses. If this is the first time you've joined this webcast, welcome. If you've been this before, welcome back. So the way this call works is this is an AMA, like on Reddit, ask me anything. You can ask me business questions, career questions, investing questions, and my goal is to humbly help you take your career to the next level. So without further ado, let's begin, and thank you. This week I have a very special guest to answer your questions about artificial intelligence. So please meet artificial intelligence expert and my good friend, Luka Anicin, who just flew in last night from Serbia, and he's staying at my house for a week as we record technology and AI courses together. So Luka's actually very tall. I'm 6 feet, he's like 6'5", so I'm standing on a little step stool here, and still he's way bigger than I am, yeah. So Luka was recognized by Google developers as one of the top 150 machine learning experts in the world. He has a PhD in applied artificial intelligence and an executive MBA from York and a master's degree in computer science and data science. And Oxford University also selected Luka as one of the top 2,000 Serbians alive today. Of course, we all know that Nikola Tesla is from Serbia as well. So Luka has more than 10 years of computer science work experience, including his first tech company that he founded when he was only 16 years old. It's pretty incredible. He's founded several other AI companies, and he's had an exit as he recently sold one of his companies. He also teaches AI on Udemy with a couple of 100,000 students. So please check out his courses. It's a great honor and privilege to introduce you all to Luka Anicin, who flew in from Serbia last night and is staying with me for a week as we are recording a comprehensive artificial intelligence course together. Luka is not only a machine learning expert and an AI expert, but he's also an expert in Python, cloud computing, and many data analysis applications. So please type your technology and business related AI questions in YouTube chat for Luka and I now. Let me kick it off with, how are you feeling after your long flight?
First of all, thank you for so great introduction.
Sure.
I like jet lag is kicking my A.
Yeah.
I woke up at I think 3 a.m. or something like that, and
yeah.
Then I responded to a lot of emails, and now I'm here.
Excellent. Well, it's a pleasure having you here in my house as well. Thank you so much. Okay, awesome. So what I'll do is I'll go through the questions here. Again, if you have AI related questions, we prefer to answer those first. So let me scroll down here. Somebody wrote here, welcome Luka. May the force be with you. It's right here, Luka Anicin, because Anakin Skywalker.
Yeah.
we have this here. And in our AI course, actually, and can you hit the number 1 or so? Yeah. What we're doing is we're using a lot of different props and a Star Wars theme as well. And I'm such an idiot. I bought you got it. Yeah, I bought a Chewbacca costume that I could wear for one of the lectures, and I'm so dumb. It's the dog version. So I'll be sending that back. Yeah. So when it comes to artificial intelligence, there's 3 different categories. There's super, which is called right here, super ASI, super strong. There's AGI, which is strong. And then there's ANI, which is narrow, which is what we use today. And within ANI, there's machine learning, and there's also, see if I can get this right. I'll perfect it for the course. Can you grab that? Sorry.
Yeah, of course.
There's also deep learning as well. So what we'll focus on in the course is ANI, which is basically the only AI that kind of exists today. Is that right? What about the other 2?
Yeah, so AI is something that is really focused to certain specific domain. For example, Google search, or we have Google Translate, ChatGPT. Like everybody's talking about ChatGPT being close to AGI, but it's not quite. It's like specifically trained to generate more text. We are quite lucky to have so much variety that we can do with text, and that's why it kind of seems that way. But AGI is kind of a human version of AI, basically. Mm-hmm. So basically that way we are not focused only on navigating maps or searching the internet, but it can do basically everything what we do, but much better. And ASI is something that we saw in movies that is so much better than we are. And if we measure in kind of a relation to our IQ, it would be maybe 1,000 IQ or
Right.
maybe even more.
Wow. Okay. So this is where we are today. And this is ChatGPT.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And this is the stuff of the future. Like this would be the Terminator movie, right?
Let's hope not.
Yeah,
It depends
hopefully
on
not,
us. It depends on us what we're going to do with it.
Cool. Excellent. This will be fun. Okay, great. Frenchie wrote, how will we benefit from using AI?
So you can automate a lot of stuff, and so you can focus on something that you do really well. And like in that sense, you're kind of propelling yourself in a career, whatever of your choosing, and that can help like get some bonus points in many areas. If you're a business owner, however, it can save you a lot of money. It depends on what you do, of course. But so many businesses like contact me today to see like, okay, we can do this and that, or we could basically potentially help our employees so they are not focused on and staying over time. They can all do their task perfectly with help of like these automations. That's some things. Or if you're brave enough, you can start your own startup and leverage that as well.
I love it. Thank you for that. Next question I've got is from Gary, who wrote, welcome, Luka.
Thank you.
And Gary's a former investment banker. He lives in Georgia. And like you, he lived in China for a while as well.
Nice.
Now, Gary wrote, welcome, Luka. How should we best use plugins to use ChatGPT in performing financial research?
Okay, that's a good question. And first of all, ni hao, Gary. Like if we are speaking about native plugins for ChatGPT, like they are quite limited to whatever companies do or build. So we have like kind of a store right now where you can install any plugin that is available for basically everybody. And in that sense, it's kind of limiting. There is a browsing plugin that can help you actually understand, like when you send a request, it can go to internet and search for those resources, and you're not limited only to the knowledge that ChatGPT has internally. And but if you're wanting to go above and beyond ChatGPT, you can do something as Auto-GPT, which actually do a lot of those browsing for you, put everything together, compile, and then prompt back to ChatGPT to get much better results. If you're, for example, analyzing a company, fundamental analysis, or like what is the other analysis?
Yeah, fundamental value tech. And was it Bloomberg?
Yeah, Bloomberg GPT, not ChatGPT, Sound GPT.
Yeah, Bloomberg's got their own flavor of it now too.
Yeah. So they only like use the GPT model that is available publicly, like GPT-1 and 2, and they pre-trained on a lot of financial data. I don't know if it's open source or able for us to use it. I didn't try it myself, but a lot of people who did try say that it can get like pretty decent results from that.
That's awesome. That's great. So, and you were explaining to me before, as you're an expert in this area, I'm certainly not, that the way to think about plugins for ChatGPT is kind of like with the Apple iPhone when they started the App Store.
Yeah, exactly that. Yeah. Like ChatGPT is a kind of a platform, and they build it intentionally from that way, so we get intrinsic value from it. We get like from a phone. Like when you buy an iPhone without any applications, native iPhone can bring you value. Like you have a call, text somebody and stuff like that. But you can obviously upgrade it with a lot of applications on the App Store. And that's basically what we see now happening with ChatGPT. A lot of companies such as Wolfram Alpha, such as Bloomberg, but they didn't build the plugin for it yet. We don't know. Right. But yeah, a lot of plugins that, for example, Kayak, you can schedule flights, you can buy cheap tickets. I did search for tickets from Serbia to here with that plugin. It didn't quite help me, but I did try. So as with any application, like it's focused on the team that it's going to build, and that's what we see now with ChatGPT.
Very cool. Very cool. Thank you for that. Awesome. Next question I've got here is from Alex P., who's from Utah. Good to see you, Alex, again. Alex wrote, "Good morning, Chris. I heard last year Biden passed a law where if there's a deposit or withdrawal of $10,000 or more, the IRS will file a SAR report after you. Do you have a better understanding of this?" Yeah, sure. So For several decades now, especially after 9/11, anti-money laundering laws have been taken to the next level, especially with the Patriot Act. So if you have any transaction over $10,000, or if you take out $10,000 or more, it definitely is tracked more closely by the U.S. government. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Not that I have $10,000, but yeah. Yeah. All right, cool. All right, let me see here. And I'm looking here for AI questions. Okay, Edward wrote, I have many boomer friends who run asset management companies. Boomers meaning baby boomers retiring. And apparently, this is fascinating, but every single week in the United States, 100,000 baby boomers retire. And that's why one of the reasons why the unemployment rate is low, because it counts for people that are looking for work. And the question is, regarding the boomers that have their asset management companies, they're still afraid of implementing AI in their business.
Mm-hmm.
How do I convince them that they need to start now?
It's a bit tricky, especially if you're working with like kind of an older audience. I spoken to a lot of like companies from not only from US but from Serbia or Europe, and Europe is especially afraid. Like with all those regulations and laws in place, you have that kind of a factor that basically scares everybody off, and also the AI factor, which is kind of a risky by itself. AI can be, like, if implemented good, pretty good, but also on the other hand, it can be pretty bad for your company if you are not able to mitigate the risks. And you can do that with using good data, having good implementation strategy and stuff like that. When you're communicating to boomers, for example, you can start with saying, okay, cool, we understand these risks, here are the risks, but here are the benefits. And boomers, as when I work with them, they know and love pros and cons kind of a way of looking at the things. Not always, but yeah, most of them. And if you have like a pretty good standing business, they don't see directly value in that, especially if they're going to retire.
Right.
And so, for example, one big real estate investor from Kansas, my friend connected me with him, and we chat about ChatGPT. I showed him how it works, and he told me like sentence, "That's a great toy, Luka. Let's talk business now." So
okay, they're not there yet.
Yeah, not there yet.
Okay. What about? I heard that Italy made ChatGPT illegal. Do you know why they did that?
They did because like a lot of institutions are kind of old school there, and they try to prevent like people from using it for benefits of studying. But I think they brought it back, so it's not there. It's not still enforced. But obviously you can use a VPN and stuff like that.
Right. Interesting. Okay, cool. Why is it that Germany, more than any other country, seems to be really worried about privacy?
I think it's their kind of a behavior pattern in a sense. I don't know when that started or when if it's going to stop, but generally, like, when you're working with Germans and when you want to like deploy something into their kind of area, you really need to be careful what, especially for a name, like simple word. You can put any name. I can't check your name, but they are not willing to do so.
Interesting. And I know also because of German privacy laws that when you use Google Maps or Apple Street View, the license plates are blurred out because of Germany.
And a lot of houses.
Yeah, that's a good thing. Okay, cool, in my opinion. All right, next question I've got is from Pat, who wrote, what are the implications of using perfect curated training data versus actual data?
That's a great point. Okay, so in most cases, you will see a lot of research papers done on the curated data sets. And that's quite normal because kind of a testing environment, vacuum, and you can compare results. Like if you have like a lot of implications that are not transferable, or you can't replicate the results, you can't build on top of somebody's research. So because of that, you need something stable, and that is the data. And now unstable things are actually algorithms and AIs that we're building. So that's kind of a vacuum point of view on AI and research. The real world actually does not do that. It actually provides a lot of dirty data, uncertainty in data and stuff like that, missing points. And most AI or machine learning projects in any company will be like 70 to 30, even maybe something 80 to 20% of time dedicated to data processing, learning about data. If you're not from that domain, like I'm certainly not from many domains, and when I start working for any company, I take time to learn about it and their business, so I can provide actually value from understanding the data itself as well. And that's how you approach. And now when you do that and now build the algorithm on top of that, you can get much better understanding of data and results.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Thank you. Next question I've got is from Rawadi, who wrote, "Good morning. I'm working as a warehouse officer supervisor, loading and unloading of materials and inventory, working with unsupportive labor. How can I use AI to work smartly with these people?"
Okay, so let me read read question carefully. So you're working as a supervising loading and unloading of materials and inventory. Okay, you can if I don't know what part of your value stream you would like to automate or help yourself with, but generally what you can do, you can use computer vision to analyze like specific individual items in the inventory or materials, to understand like where or how much you transferred, how many of there are, and obviously you can use robotics automation, but that's quite a lot of like connection to robotics, not AI only. But yeah, like computer vision can be there to track your employees and to track your materials as well.
Cool. Thank you for that. Cool. All right. Next up, Laraxak wrote, "Hello, everybody. Hi, Chris and Luka and MBA family. Great to be here. I decided to drop by with a question. I recently graduated with a BE in AI in Poland, and I've also been working as a junior data scientist for 2 years now. Any guidelines on how to most efficiently change into a remote job abroad? And what are some best skills and certifications to learn?"
Okay, so any guides on how to most efficiently?
Yeah, to work remote. Yeah, I might be able to help out with this one.
Yeah.
So I think one of the best things to do if you want to work remotely is to try to check out websites like Fiverr.com. That's FIVERR.com, or openwork.com as well. And if you don't have that much tech experience, if you're just starting out, you can take Udemy courses from people like Angela Yu or Rob Percival, etc., and take your skill set, your programming skill set, what you've learned, and create a portfolio online of sample projects on a website. And then you can advertise those in your profile on Upwork as your side hustle.
Yeah, and I would like to build on top of that.
Sure.
So portfolio in data science these days is everything. I don't like when people apply to me, I don't really care to read their resumes, because a lot of strong words like teamwork and stuff like that I cannot check before you start actually working for me.
Right.
So CVs does not provide much value to me, but what I do check is portfolio. And in the data science these days, you can build a great portfolio, which can be like a difference between you or some other candidates, because there is a lot of Kaggle data sets.
Right.
Kaggle is a website where publicly you can download and work with data sets. We're going to talk about in the course.
In the course.
Yeah.
Kaggle.
Yeah.
I'm going to turn the volume up. Thank you so much for the feedback. So keep going. I'm going to turn the volume up here as you answer this question. I'll let everyone see my nutty studio here as you answer the question. And why don't you explain Kaggle in a little bit more detail?
Yeah. So Kaggle is a kind of great website if you would like to start working with the data or different data sets, because like many companies actually put their data to that website and organize a competition with a prize pool. So if you are like individual from any world country, you can actually participate there and potentially earn some money. And yeah, basically that's one thing. Back to your question regarding portfolio. Many companies will start by using like a general data sets and start building on top of that, but that does not distinguish you from anybody else. And what I would suggest you doing is take your tweak based on any data set that you can get. Like you can go and understand like for example, some other things from the data. You can build multiple data sets into one and then build value from there. And what I always suggest my students when they're building their portfolio, I can see the final product working, but I'm actually really interested in you and what you did and what you learned from that project. So when you do the code, and this is not applied only for AI. If you're suggest like doing something with a portfolio, like a designer or a copywriter or a software engineer in any capacity, explain what you learned in that project. Like, yes, I did implement this function, but this is what I learned and what I can bring to your company. So that's how I actually judge your portfolio projects. And to move remote, I'll start with networking. A lot of it is in creating connections, and a lot of that is actually building that social capital and not only your portfolio.
Okay, great. And thank everybody for the feedback. Sounds like the volume is better now as well. Sorry about that. The issue is that I'm so short compared to Luka. We had to move everything back. Yeah. It's my bad. Sorry about that, everybody. Okay. Next question is from Jamba, which is, hey, I'm a cognitive therapist, and I use treatment modules, which I think would translate well to a ChatGPT type thing. Please let me know where I start.
I don't know what cognitive therapist is.
So he works, let's just say, as a therapist.
Okay.
How can you use AI for that?
Oh, okay. So I know like a couple of different therapies like modes, and one thing that you can potentially do is build their version of like a person, of a parent, for example, and then you put your your patient to chat with that version of ChatGPT. It's a kind of an out there thing, but I know that, for example, Gestalt version of therapy is actually employing that so you can speak with your parents, like and stuff like that, and simulate kind of a conversation. And you potentially can do that with ChatGPT. I don't know. I actually spoken and wrote a post on LinkedIn like maybe 2-3 months ago about this very topic. And I spoken to a couple of therapists regarding that, and it's kind of a dangerous to think about doing with something with this, because it can lead to psychosis and stuff like that, and you can start imagining that you're actually speaking with that other person if ChatGPT gets the gist of it. Yeah.
Wow. Interesting. What industries do you think will most be impacted by AI? And which job functions will likely not exist because of AI in the future?
Anything I say, I will potentially be wrong.
Okay.
It really depends on the company itself, but the trends today show that back office jobs like HR, sometimes sales and stuff like that, support will definitely go outdated, or will need to transfer that knowledge to some other areas and start building their version of a kind of a new job. AI will definitely close a lot of jobs. I can't say that it will not, but it really depends on how many of those will actually open. And the scariest part about AI is we saw these transitions many times over, but it comes only to the speed of development. Like we cannot, like we never saw these things happening this fast any time, like in the history.
Yeah, it really is amazing. Since ChatGPT was released last November, the entire venture capital community here has been looking desperately for all AIs.
Yeah.
Big tech companies have rebranded themselves as AI companies as well. And I'm amazed at just the impact ChatGPT has. It kind of reminds me of when I first started using the internet back in '94, or when Steve Jobs released the iPhone in January of 2007. This is a big deal. This is definitely a game changer. Now, a lot of people get worried that AI is going to take their jobs in the long run. I just think we're all going to adapt. I think AI is going to replace a lot of operational type jobs so that we can all focus on the less mundane tasks and focus more on R&D or engineering or innovation in general.
I think that's true. Like innovation in general is something that AI does not have the creativity yet to do. So definitely humans will propel there.
Awesome. Okay, cool. Okay, next question is from Sam, who wrote, do you think generative AI will cool down or become even more important And then if you want, can you explain generative AI, please?
So, if you ask me, I hope generative AI will cool down because every news like article these days is somehow related to generative AI. It is great. I can say it's not, like it provides value, but if in long term, it actually creates a lot of fog to businesses to understand actually the value of AI and machine learning. So yes, you have ChatGPT, you have those R generative AIs, which we'll cover in a second. But there's much better applications out there. Like for example, e-commerce. These days, all talk about chat support and building a chatbot. Yes, you can do it because you have technology to do so. But in most cases, you don't have that many questions, or you have like a one employee that's going to handle all of those questions for you. So not that big of a deal to automate immediately. But what you can do is implement a recommendation system. And the recommendation system does not have anything to do with generative AI. It's like a pure AI machine learning application. So I would say that like yes, generative AI is great these days, but you can do much better potentially with AI. And how a generative AI works? Well, in any cases, those are supervised learning. So we're going to talk about them. We have other
prop. We have
props,
so many props for this upcoming thing that we're making together. Yeah, cool. One thing I really wanted to say, Luka, is that I think that a lot of people want to rely on using ChatGPT to write essays, to write LinkedIn articles, etc. I would caution everybody against that. And the reason is, and so my son, he's just finished his first year university at Berkeley, and their professors, what they do is they check all the papers that are written. They have their own algorithms to check to see if you're using AI. Another issue with using ChatGPT is there's copyright issues. And we don't know exactly what those are yet because the legal precedents haven't been set yet. But if you publish something using AI like ChatGPT or Google's version called Bard or Microsoft's version called Bing Chat, there's a chance, we don't know yet, that legally you might not own that content. Another thing I'll say about ChatGPT is that ChatGPT, it's great, but quite often it's confidently wrong. And I say confidently wrong because it answers your questions in perfect parallel construction with only 3 sentences per paragraph, etc. And you think it's correct because it's so well written. Kind of like somebody that appears very confident, you think they're correct. They could be wrong. So always double check all the data that you see within ChatGPT. And for my Forbes column, actually, before that was me showing off. I have a Forbes column. Yeah. I'm sorry. I'm so short compared to Luka. I'm insecure today. Yeah, but
I can relate that.
No. Please, you're my guest. I'm humbled to have you here. Both my Forbes column, before I submit an article, there's a checkbox I have to select that states you did not use any AI to create this. So I would just tell everybody, be careful with everything you publish using ChatGPT. I love using it for ideas. And I was teaching some of my students that were trying to get jobs how to use ChatGPT and turn your weaknesses into strengths. So for example, go to ChatGPT before you go to an interview and type in what is your biggest weakness and turn to a strength. For example, we can go to ChatGPT and type this. In 100 words, explain why the fact that I had low grades in undergrad is a strength because I had to work part-time jobs. And right away, ChatGPT will come up with an answer curated perfectly that will say something like, well, I had to pay my way through school, which has really allowed me to multitask, which is helpful, I think, from a corporate perspective, because I can accomplish a lot more in a lot less time. Yeah.
Nice. I wouldn't be able to come up with that question.
Well, that's from ChatGPT. Yeah. Okay, cool. All right. All right, next question is from Sam, who wrote, I'm finishing a bachelor's degree in data science. Mm-hmm. Do I need a master's degree to break into machine learning or deep learning?
No. No. Just if you want to do it, like, yes, it will be competitive advantage. But yeah, like if you're not into that, it's a waste of time. Like in my opinion, like go and do your projects, go do like open source stuff, contribute to open source libraries, and then you will get definitely a lot of value from it. If you go to masters, like I don't know like in which country you are, but it really depends on like the type of master. Sometimes it's a full time. In my opinion, full time masters will definitely lose you at least 2 years.
Interesting, yeah. And it's fascinating because university enrollments this year are down 8% versus the pre-pandemic, meaning 2019. And I really think that my children are the last generation that might consider getting a university degree. Now, a lot of great companies don't require a university degree anymore to get a job there, including Google, IBM, Facebook, Wells Fargo, and many others as well. Yeah. And also, my second son is applying to university, and he doesn't have to write the SAT anymore either.
Yeah.
Yeah. So very slowly, what's happening is, big companies are realizing that you don't need to spend $100,000 on an education in order to get a jump start in the economy. A lot of the best tech entrepreneurs dropped out of university, and a lot of people learn just their technology skills online on places like Udemy. Yeah, from your courses. Yeah.
The education can have also the great benefits. I wouldn't like I'm the guy who actually completing the PhD, so I can't say much against it. But I did it so because I love teaching. And in one moment, I would like to be a professor at university, and I think about creating safety nets for my family. And that's the only reason why. It's not because of the job. So don't take my example as a kind of to enter the job market. In most cases, people don't even know that I have PhD and they employ me. So it's fine.
Awesome. Thanks for that. Appreciate it. Okay. Next question is from Thomas from Sweden. How are you, Thomas? Good to see you. Who wrote, "Hi, Chich." That was my nickname growing up when I was a kid. I don't know how that got out there, but I love it. Thank you. Hi, Chich and Luka. How do you use Auto-GPT, and can you show an example? Do you want to explain it, and then can you show an example on the screen or no?
Unfortunately, I can't show it today because it requires a bit of a setup.
Okay.
It's not a straightforward process.
Okay.
But you have God mode something, which is I can check it out on my phone and we can type it out.
Yeah, what is Auto?
Oh yeah, Auto-GPT is you can go to anybody to GitHub. If you don't know what GitHub is, it's a kind of a website for codes. And in most cases, if you are working as a software engineer, you will push your code here and collaborate with other engineers on a code that you're building, any application. So it's an amazing tool to know. Obviously, it's a necessary thing to know if you're in IT. Otherwise, it's not that a big of a deal. But Auto-GPT is somebody built infrastructure around GPT itself. So it can go to Google, browse for you, it can save files, it can edit files for you, it can do a lot of those manual things, send emails sometimes. I think if they tested out, I don't know if it ended up in the final version of Auto-GPT now, but there are many things that they're currently doing in a kind of a thing to help Auto-GPT. In the backbone of that is ChatGPT, which when you send a request, let's say, I want you to build, let's say, I would like to perform the research for this and this company, you are about to do so, and it will create a set of prompts for you to ping the GPT itself, ChatGPT, and now it will go to internet, take the sources like Forbes, like Yahoo Finance and other companies, and actually put everything under one file and then put it back to ChatGPT, and then it circles back in many iterations until it actually performs the task that you gave it.
Awesome, thank you for that. Next up, I got the Twisted Papads wrote. What about the fee structure of AI services? Will there be a standard per sector? Yeah, maybe explain. If you want, you can start with how does ChatGPT charge us for ChatGPT 4.0?
So we'll have a lecture about that, but many companies, and I can't really predict how much something will cost.
Right.
I can briefly explain. So basically, when you type your question to it, every question is a sentence that we communicate with, and you can type it in English or any other any other language. And it is broken down to number, for complexity of this, for explanation, 2 words, okay? So each word is 1 token. and they are charging you per number of words. Okay, so when you send the questions to them, it will be charged some small amount times the number of words, and that's what you're going to be charged. And then when the ChatGPT gives the response to you, it will give you response in whatever the length it actually generates. Again, every word times some small amount in dollars, and that's how much it's going to be charged.
Okay, cool. Yeah. And it's interesting because people don't realize how expensive it is to deploy and create an AI infrastructure. For example, Google actually created the T in ChatGPT years ago, and they could have deployed their own ChatGPT years ago, but there's a classic innovator's dilemma to the extent that if Google did it, it would cannibalize their own market. And I'll talk about this in terms of numbers. So it costs about $100 billion to build out a high-end AI infrastructure. It's very expensive, and that's why we pay for tokens, as Luka was saying, for ChatGPT 4. So if Google were to deploy their own version of ChatGPT, which is called Bard, but if they were to have deployed it years ago, it would have literally hurt their operating profit by $30 billion per year. Yeah, so it's really expensive to deploy these things. Yeah. In terms of deploying them, if you want, can you talk about the hardware needed and the infrastructure as well?
Yeah.
And this is a graphics chip here. Yeah.
So, yeah, cool. So, okay. So, in most cases, to train a proper algorithm such as ChatGPT, you will need thousands of these bad boys. Much better than this one, but much more expensive. It was estimated that OpenAI spent about $1 million per day for 6 months to train ChatGPT.
Oh my God!
Yeah,
that's crazy.
And now they are paying. I don't know if it got changed, but I think around $100,000 per day just to keep it up and running.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
Yeah. So that's basically the cost of ChatGPT. But what happens? You're going to take your GPU, train your model on top of it. You can take it on CPU, but sometimes it depends on the algorithm. You can't put it on CPU, and it will take you a lot of time. When I say a lot of time, well, it can be hours on this, but days on CPU. Okay, so that's basically the main kind of argument for GPUs. You have some version of these GPUs called TPUs, or tensor processing units, that Google invented to actually propel their infrastructures. And I saw a couple of questions about TensorFlow, PyTorch, and other things, so we can touch upon that. But TensorFlow is a library to build those big algorithms such as ChatGPT. And it's a free algorithm, open source, and you can use it, but it's optimized to best work on TPUs, which only Google has. So it's a kind of a business model. So if you want to have amazing performance of your AI, obviously you're going to use Google because of the TPUs. And then you're going to pay them for $6, something $6 to $7 per hour to keep it up and running.
Wow.
And sometimes
this is a CPU here. This is an old Intel CPU. It can only do one thing at a time. GPUs can do a lot more. TPUs is a piece of hardware Google developed?
Yep.
Okay,
it's
cool.
similar to GPUs, but it's structured around AI algorithms.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But yeah, so basically that's what it does. And in some cases, for companies where I worked, for example, Photomat, many students from around the US is using that application. And what we did, we rented around 16 to 17 GPUs to keep our model in production.
Wow. And
we spent a lot of money per day, per month, just to keep it up and running. Yeah.
Interesting. And that's probably one of the reasons why NVIDIA, ticker NVDA, is doing exceptionally well. It's probably the best way you can invest in AI is through NVIDIA, because they make these graphics chips. Yeah. Now Google, with the TPU that Google invented, can any company use it or only Google?
I really don't know, but in most cases I think that you can rent it out from their cloud service. But
Interesting. So, okay, they've got, and this is what a TPU looks like right here, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And this is a massive data center. Okay, why don't we talk about the three big cloud service providers and what your thoughts are on them when it comes to using AI?
Okay, so yeah, first off, we have three biggest cloud providers. Like we have Google's one, which is called GCP. When I say GCP, it's Google, so Google Cloud Provider. Then platform, sorry, not provider, but you have Azure from Amazon, and then you have AWS or Amazon Web Services, which is one of the oldest and most prominent still to this day, but it's most expensive.
Amazon Web Services more expensive than Microsoft Azure?
Oh yeah.
Oh wow, I had no idea.
Yeah, I think they decreased a lot of prices recently, Azure, but AWS kept their prices.
Wow, that's amazing. I have no idea.
But like if you want to be competitive in the job market and you're interested in the cloud, AWS is a good way to go. Like it has the best certificates and it has like crazy infrastructures for most companies. Like it's kind of a PHP of this day. Like nobody is programming anything in PHP, but if you know how to use it, you can maintain a lot of stuff. You're not going to build new stuff, but you're going to be support for a lot of things. Okay. GCP is, in my opinion, to this day, one of the best cloud providers when it comes to computer vision algorithms, like something that to detect like from images and the startup that I was mentioning, I'm building on GCP. So
Google's cloud.
I'm making my own startup there. So
cool.
then you have Azure, which is now really entangled with OpenAI. So you have really easy access to OpenAI services. And with their kind of tokens and whatever, like when you pay Azure, you get a lot of credits for OpenAI services as well. So you can leverage that kind of to benefit. So if you're building something on top of text, Azure is definitely way to go. AWS has its own like recommender systems and builders for machine learning models that are much easier than Google's or Azure's. So if you want to build something custom or if you want to scale something, definitely AWS can be your solution. Yeah.
If I wanted to create a chat bot for customer services purposes on my website using AI, how would I do that? What companies would I partner with, and what would the cost be to answer, say, 100 questions per day?
Oh, that's simple. So if you have like a predefined set of kind of a Q&A, FAQ on your website, and you would like to like pump it up and make it more live than just a pure text on your website, you can build simple chatbots, and there are a lot of like tools out there, like a Chatbase, Chat.com I think is a recent one, and like a Vision Chat and stuff like that. And a lot of those companies or tools will help you actually develop those simple algorithms around the data that you provide. So you give them a data set or your document in PDF, like just straight question, answer, as many as you'd like. You feed it to it and train it on top of that. And it does not require any coding skills. That's the magic of it. So you can basically do it like this. You get your chatbot, which is quite nice, and then you can change it, tweak it, and stuff like that until you reach the point where you're actually happy.
Amazing. The future is now. Next question is, what about the future of AI and cryptocurrency mining, also in terms of blockchain?
Okay, I don't know like much about cryptocurrency. I did work in that industry, but I don't really use crypto that much.
Right. Okay. Cool. How about blockchain?
Blockchain is a great like a data structure. Like if you like to build like a startup on top of it, and crypto can actually allow you to kind of approve those transactions, and then amazing things can happen. And I saw a lot of like we talked about Kaggle, and it's not quite decentralized, obviously, because yes, it's open source and you can use those data sets, but it's not decentralized. And a lot of the crypto companies, because of the boom of AI, now start dangling about and speaking about using kind of a data platforms and building around data sets, built on a blockchain.
Okay, makes sense. Thank you. Got a question here from Cheyenne from Southern California about using ChatGPT when it comes to essays. Happens to be all the time. Don't worry about it. So I would be careful with that, please. As I mentioned earlier, do not use ChatGPT or any AI application to write any essays or articles because it is all, it could be copyrighted. And there's algorithms that people can check to see if you actually wrote it, kind of like fake reviews on Amazon. So if you're going to use ChatGPT to write essays or anything, what I would do is I'd use it just for ideas. Say you're writing an essay on why you think that, I don't know, there's not going to be that much water left in certain lakes in the long run. That was an awful example. It's the first thing I saw. Well, what you can do is you can tell ChatGPT, give me 10 bullet points on why there's not going to be much water available in many lakes. That was an awful example. That's okay. And then you can use those bullet points and write your essay around that. Just be really, really careful with this, please.
And don't provide your personal or job-related data to the ChatGPT. Yes, you can turn off the saving part, but sometimes people forget, especially if you have many employees. So don't do it, because they will use your data to train their machine learning on. So that can happen, and like Samsung, for example, ended up a lot of employees using ChatGPT for their internal stuff, and their internal data leaked. So your IP leaked now, and it's part of ChatGPT, which is not a great idea and not place to be.
Should we be careful with what we type in ChatGPT?
In what sense?
Well, should we use like Tor or some kind of VPN to use it?
You still need an account.
An account now, okay.
Yeah, you still need an account. So if you are building a specific Gmail account for your ChatGPT, then fine, and you can be cautious in that way, but you still can be connected to that account.
Right.
And the other way is, in most cases, people are going to pay for ChatGPT because paid version is much better than the not paid one.
Yeah, interesting. It's fascinating because usually when it comes to venture capitalists tend to value companies and love investing in companies that have high subscriber growth. And usually you don't pay to use a company's app that's growing quickly, like Facebook or Instagram years ago when Instagram bought it. But it's different when it comes to AI. You have to charge for it because, as Luka was mentioning before, it can cost a fortune to build out the AI infrastructure. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. Next question I've got here is from Morgan from Vancouver. How are you? Morgan wrote, "Hi, Chris and Luka. What is a cost-effective method to use machine learning and AI to build and train an application where clients will be asked a set of questions and the app will come up with a solution in a report?"
Okay. So you can start by leveraging APIs for ChatGPT or stuff like that, but you still need a way to structure your input and output. So what I would do, I would say, okay, here is the set of questions and answers that you provide, and here is a solution that I'd like my algorithm to give, whatever that algorithm might be. We are not discussing that part yet. So collect as many of those examples as possible. And why I say it's possible, because you mentioned cost efficient. If you're not worrying about cost, go all out on collecting the data set, and that's going to guarantee kind of a success of that method. So collect the data and basically use then ChatGPT to build a simple application as a proof of concept and put it out there and let the users use it, basically. And after that, you will, because they are using it, you will collect more and more data in the process without actually spending a penny more. And you're actually earning not only data, but you're actually building the infrastructure of your model as well in the back end. So that's how I would approach your problem.
Cool. Thank you. Next question I've got is from Bakari, who's one of my students. Bakari's actually taller than you.
Oh, really?
Which is hard to believe. Bakari is 6 foot, actually he's 6'11".
Okay.
So that means he's up to here. I'm 6 feet. And this is me not standing on my little step stool here. But Bakari is a professional basketball player. He got a full scholarship to University of Minnesota as well. He's a good guy. He lives in France now. So Bakari's question is, "Hi everyone, hope all is well. How is AI being used to improve financial processes and entrepreneurships? And what risk management and potential fraud detection for individual investors can we find with AI?"
Okay, so let me think about the
Yeah.
answer.
Do you want me to take the? I'll take the fraud side.
Yeah, you
Okay.
can say that.
So there's a company called Palantir that I invested in when I worked in venture capital. When it was private, I no longer own the stock. And what Palantir does is it looks at a lot of unstructured data to try to find patterns. And so the biggest banks in the world use Palantir and their AI applications. One of them is called Metropolis to find fraud. And you'll notice a lot of times when you're using your credit card overseas or in a different area of the country you're in, where it won't work. And you'll have to call the credit card company just to verify that the card works. It's because companies like Palantir and other AI technologies, they look for anomalies in the data in order to decide if something is fraudulent or not. Last thing I'll say on Palantir is that the Obama administration only found Osama bin Laden because they used Palantir's software. Obviously, a lot more went into it, but Palantir's artificial intelligence algorithm was able to put together a lot of separate pieces of data and figure out exactly where Osama bin Laden was hiding. Yeah, so it's incredible. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Okay, next question's from Ani. Hey, Ani, who wrote, hey guys, thank you for putting this together. My pleasure, and thank you for Luka for flying all the way from Serbia late last night to join us. I appreciate it. He's brilliant, even on hardly any sleep. The question is, what are the best sites to create a chat bot to use for social media interactions?
I would go and okay, so there are two different ways that you can approach. One with a predefined software called chatbase.io, which is paid to some degree. I think it's about $50 per month if you want to have more options to build. But Chatbase maybe not.
Okay, I'll do a search. Sorry about that.
Yeah, maybe I'm wrong about IO.
No, here it is here. Chatbase. I'll see if I can find it here. This is one here, yeah.
Let me find actually exact URL.
Okay, cool. Chat. Okay, but you can leverage and use these API plugins so you can work smarter and not harder when it comes to using AI. Okay.
So yeah, definitely you can go and use that to actually speed up the process. You can always obviously be more advanced and build with the prompt engineering version of your ChatGPT answers that you're going to get. And what I would do next, if your basically main goal is to be on social media platforms, then use Zapier, for example, to connect those APIs with your social media accounts. And that's basically how I would approach. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Next question I've got is from Rose, who's from the great state of Virginia. Great to see you, Rose. Rose wrote, Luka, what are your thoughts on how AI will impact the music industry? There are record labels in Korea making AI girl groups that look, sound, and act like real girls.
So I will jump on that, but my friend is actually watching us, and he just sent me chatbase.co.
Oh, chatbase.co.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me go to that website.
Thank you, Marco.
Marco, you're the best. Chatbase. What is it again?
.co.
Chatbase.co. Okay.
Yeah.
And
that one.
Okay, cool. And you can use this chatbot here on your website. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Okay, so the question from Rose, thank you so much for that, Marco. The question from Rose is, how is AI going to impact the music industry? There's an instance of an all-girls band that Rose wrote about in Korea that was created entirely by AI.
Okay, so what are
the music industry? Yeah.
So okay, one of the music stars in Serbia actually approached me to create a music video for him based on his new album. So for the whole new album, if we manage to create good enough looking videos, he will use completely AI generated for music. And obviously we saw this a part where directly music can be generated using AI, but that's a bit limiting. So to this day, since it already actually makes mistakes, because it's not understanding the theory of music and stuff like that. The only patterns it understands is based on the music that it was trained on. So it is still quite difficult to generate something production ready. You will still have much better doing with humans. But what we can do is combine those two together and use the authors and stuff like real musicians and connect them with the AI, so you're actually speeding up the process there.
Very cool. And I'd be careful too. I know a lot of musicians are starting to use ChatGPT for lyrics.
Oh yeah.
Again, we don't know who owns the copyright to that. When it comes to entertainment and really understanding the power of AI and thinking of the future, I recommend everybody play this game here called Detroit Become Human.
I love that.
It's one of my favorite video games. You can play it in the PlayStation, Xbox, etc., where you actually play the role of an android. And while you're playing this game, in between cutscenes, they poll the audience, meaning the thousands of people playing online at the same time, and ask them questions. And one of the questions was, would you ever date an android? And I was playing the game. I voted no, but 70% of people voted yes. Yeah.
Well, it's kind of quite a bias. So back to our machine learning. Machine learning is quite biased in most cases, so we need to be careful of the data that we provide to it and the results that we are relying on. So ChatGPT is biased as well towards the data sources that they used. And for that question, I love the androids I played. And you get kind of an emotional connection with those androids from the Detroit Becoming Humans.
Yeah.
And if you say yes, you are influenced emotionally to the game, so obviously you're going to say, well, most likely you're going to say yes.
Yeah.
So I would say yes, but in general, if we're just discussing right now, obviously the answer will be no.
Right. Cool. Another question I got for you is, can you talk about bias when it comes to AI?
Yeah. So in AI, there is a term called bias. Well, bias can be basically two different things, but we are speaking about preference towards certain area of data. And what I mean by that is, in most cases, the data sets that you get to use today are collected from the Western cultures, Europe, US, and stuff like that. And based on that, variety of the data will be limited. And also the sources and language and patterns and stuff like that, the behavior stuff will be limited to the areas that we use to collect the data from. So what's going to happen? You're going to have bias towards certain gender or certain race and stuff like that, and it can be quite detrimental for your business if you're actually not relying on that in a okay capacity, and trying to constantly reevaluate of your data set, how good it is, what's happening and stuff like that.
It's interesting. And there's been examples of companies like Amazon using it for recruiting purposes, which has had stereotypical awful results. Yeah. Okay, cool. Next question I've got is, I want to ask a question regarding Project Magu in Rwanda, where you're impacting young children. When you shared information about it, you said you would share the business plan. I want to do something similar in Nigeria to help secondary school students and university students deal with challenges of their careers. I'd love to seek your support and collaboration. Thank you so much for that. So the profits from what I do go towards building schools overseas. The first one we built was in Rwanda. This here is Project Magu. That's my son. He came with me. This is Vital, who is one of my students who I met at a Udemy conference years ago. And we built our first school in Rwanda, and we're building our second one soon. I'm actually going there, and I'll be doing this weekly webcast. That's my son there. I'll be doing this weekly webcast from the school in Rwanda in July. We plan on building schools next after Rwanda in Kenya, and then in Nigeria. And if you want to join us and help us with the Nigerian effort, what you can do is you can go to LinkedIn and reach out to one of my former students named Kemi Tade. She's heading up the effort. And Kemi is based in Ottawa, and she's wonderful, but she grew up in Nigeria. She's wonderful. Yeah. And thank you so much for asking about that. Okay. Next question I got here. Um, what do you think about the financial industry in 2035 combined with technology? Yeah. So I would say when it comes to the financial services industry, more than 75% of those jobs are sales oriented, meaning relationship based. There has to be a lot of trust because there's a lot of money involved. And so I personally don't believe that AI is going to replace us, replace trust. But I do think that AI is going to help us a lot with portfolio management and risk management, diversification, etc. In terms of AI systems picking stocks for us, it's happening now, and it has been for several decades. And I'll talk about one of the best hedge funds in the world. It's called Renaissance Technologies, which is founded by a brilliant man who used to work for the NSA named Jim Simmons. And Renaissance gross adjusted annual return since the 1980s is actually over 90%. And what they do at Renaissance is kind of like AI. They have thousands of computers, Linux servers running in parallel. And what those Linux servers do is they pick stocks. And the way they pick stocks, we'll never know, but I'll give you an example of how they might use it. Let's say that it rains a lot in a certain country in a given month or two. And people tend to not go out to restaurants as much when it's raining. So Renaissance's algorithm, and this is a simple example, might short restaurant stocks because of that. So I think in the future, people are really going to figure out how to leverage AI in order to pick stocks. Now, the problem with people trying to use AI to pick stocks is that it can be very short-term focused. And it's impossible to make money in the market every single month. Every month has 20 trading days, meaning 20 weekdays when the market's open. And stocks go up and down because of random events. You get fooled by randomness. For example, what Putin might say or Biden might say, or saber rattling between large economies. We don't know why stocks go up or down in the near term. And there's a reason why we can't really name a single successful day trader, because they don't exist. We need to think longer term when investing. Yeah. Okay. All right. And do you have any thoughts about the financial services industry by 2035 with AI?
I'm not I'm not that much in the financial industry, but definitely yes. As you stated, like a lot of companies will go towards the area of leveraging AI to, or not only AI, but generally like doing technology improvements on their portfolio level. So yeah, basically that's going to happen, and if you are an investor and not leveraging some sorts of AI, you're potentially going to lose in the long term. So yeah, that one, and obviously like right now we are biased towards technology companies that that are in tech and doing this stuff in the current run. So yeah, that's going to be like kind of a good investment these days.
Cool, thank you for that. All right, I got another question here from Durs, who wrote, technologies like TensorFlow, PyTorch, and neural networking and machine learning. Are these concepts going to affect the financial industry, specifically portfolio management, in the future? Thank you. Do you want to explain what these are?
Of course, I will explain each of them. But so not in the future, they're impacting like today. So okay, you have a neural networks, and if we take a look at AI, we talked about like general artificial narrow intelligence, that is basically everything that we do or have today. Then we have like something we called machine learning, and machine learning is subset of AI, or as we call it today, AI. And machine learning is basically a set of algorithms that learn to recognize patterns in data and produce some results. So what we do have is like, for example, some mappings between, let's say, as Chris explained, we have a raining day, so obviously the performance of restaurants will be lower. So we like machine learning to recognize that as a kind of a pattern and then short those stocks. And that's basically what machine learning does. Now, in machine learning, you have a smaller subset of it, which is called deep learning. So deep learning is a set of algorithms that are called neural networks. And by definition, they try to mimic our brain. Obviously not even close, but they try to mimic our brain. And what they do is create a lot of those neurons, or basically calculations inside of that inside of that algorithm to try to leverage the data and learn from the patterns. And for example, ChatGPT is a neural network. Okay, you have a Google search engine that is basically neural network. So in most cases, and like Tesla, for example, if you're from the US, you most likely saw a lot of Teslas, especially in California. Like they're using neural networks to process 8 images around the car, to put it through that and make a prediction where the next that car should go. Is it like to keep the lane, to switch it, and stuff like that. So that's called neural networks or deep learning. Okay, now you have like building those neural networks is a tedious process. It's a coding like part that can be really stressful, and you need to make sure that you are not making mistakes on the process of coding. And the mathematical structure behind it, I won't go into it right now, is the biggest problem. If you make mistake there, you are not like going to be happy with that, and you can't debug it directly. You need to go back and circle and stuff like that. Not to make sure that we are not relying on us that much in the coding sense. People are using libraries such as TensorFlow and PyTorch to build those algorithms. So you are not actually like using the pure coding, but you have those algorithms, those libraries that allows you to actually like build those algorithms in a really simple and fast manner, and which is amazing. So you have TensorFlow from Google and PyTorch built in Meta, and now part of Linux Foundation, so completely open sourced. And you have machine learning, which we already know, we talked about it. And all of these algorithms are actually, like, as I said, impacting the current financial industry, like for example, like predicting what stock market or where to invest the money. Yeah, like, yes, you need machine learning for that, and specifically in most cases that's going to be deep learning network, neural network. And when they are building it, they're going to use TensorFlow and PyTorch. Yeah, that's basically it.
Do I need to know how to code in Python in order to use machine learning and AI?
So, like, in most cases, yes. But if you have a lot of like today, like those algorithms such as called Auto-ML, and like we mentioned, free cloud providers such as GCP or AWS or whatever, Azure, all of those have a solution called Auto-ML. And you can upload your data and it will find out basically the right algorithm for that. No coding needed. It will build your application around the data that you provide. Yeah.
Cool, thanks for that, appreciate it. All right, next up we got John, who wrote, can you compare and contrast the LLM created by OpenAI versus Google in terms of long-term accuracy and results? So LLM stands for large language models. Do you want to explain what that means and then dive into the question?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
so let's focus on what is the language model. Language model, like in AI, but before humans. Like for now, I'm on a live stream. I'm completely talking differently than I talked to you like last like dinner or stuff like that. We choose words differently. The probability of me saying something is different now on live stream than something like a normal conversation. So that's my language model for live stream, and all humans have that. Like you're speaking differently to your parents, to your children, to your friends, differently. Your topics are different, stuff like that. So that process of saying, okay, when I say I, what is the most likely next word to happen? And that's basically the probability across all of your conversations in the past with that person. And that is a language model. And machine learning can replicate that by us giving them data sets such as books, blogs, and stuff like that. And if they see a lot of samples like, I love driving Tesla. It's not promotional for Tesla, but I'm just saying. And we saw like I drive maybe 20 times. It's more likely to have, when I type I, it's more likely to come the drive next than some other words that we never saw. Okay? So that's basically the probability of moving from one word to the next and to the next and so on. Large is because we gave it so much data, and those neural networks are really big. Like they are spending a lot of resources for learning, for computing and stuff like that. And that's basically what is the large language model. And OpenAI built one, which is ChatGPT, or GPT in the background. And we have Google's Bard, which is similar to it, but trained on a different set of data. Now, in the long term, I don't know how they're going to develop. Like, OpenAI has a benefit and the edge because they are focused towards end client, and they build this app kind of a interface to it. So you have the option to upload your plugins and create those additions to the original ChatGPT, while Bard does not have that. And they are both really similar in a sense of the algorithmic structure. So you need to make sure that you're actually like using the one that works best. Bard has the options to give different results right now, since it's not trained that well, in my opinion. So it needs more data when it comes to training. So yeah, long term, that's basic. OpenAI has the edge because of the opportunity to leverage plugins.
Very cool. Thanks for that. Nice shout out here from Ryle, who wrote, Luka helped me make a chatbot.
That's Marco.
Oh, that's Marco. Okay, that can close real estate deals. Awesome. And thank you, Marco, for texting us earlier about the chatbot issue. Thank you so much. Okay. Question is from Annie, which is, hey, Luka, thanks again for this info. How do we get in touch with you to discuss the services you offer? Thanks. And why don't you talk about your company and what you do as well when it comes to AI? And thank you.
Well, thank you. First of all, thank you, Marco, for leading to this. I started the company Data Blues like a long time ago, which is kind of a consulting company where I help either develop your algorithms or consult with you to find out what is actually best solution for you. It can be something completely different from AI. Like in that case, I'm not building it, but I'm teaching you not to leverage AI. Sometimes AI is not a good solution because of the risks for your company. So we are together going to discuss that and basically find out what actually works for you and not potentially AI. So that's basically what I do, like consulting type, data strategy, and then solutions if needed. So yeah, basically what I'm doing that. I worked for many different companies, small and big ones, and one of those was Marco's company. He's actually a really smart guy from Serbia, and he lives in Belgrade with me. Well, not with me in the house, but in Belgrade. But he's actually selling and buying houses in Kansas.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and in Illinois as well.
But living in
yeah,
wow,
yeah, crazy business. Like,
that's pretty
and
cool.
they're pretty successful. Like,
Right.
yeah, like he's selling a lot of houses per month. I don't know how many.
Awesome.
But yeah, so what they do basically, they close real estate. They find buyers and sellers for houses, and they offer like under market value because of the house, because they are not publicly shown property to sell. So they are off-market deals, obviously. So they can, like, seller and buyer can achieve the best results in that sense. And in that process, we build a chatbot to actually talk to the sellers and to the buyers. And when we put the chatbot, like immediately that day, they closed in like 10 minutes the deal and earned $45,000 for their company.
All right. What is your website address? Sorry. You're a humble guy, but I got to go there. But how do we learn more about you?
Like the best option is to go to my LinkedIn.
Oh, LinkedIn profile.
And you can go to LukaAnicin.com.
Yeah.
Luka ANICIN.com. And there you can scroll down and tell me more about your idea, and I'm going to reach out to you or my team and find out like when to schedule the call and start working from there.
Very cool. Very cool. Awesome. And somebody asked here how to get in touch with you, I guess through LinkedIn. Yeah. Okay.
Either LinkedIn or my website. So both locations will.
Awesome. Okay. Next question is from my good friend Michelle G. Michelle, how are you? Michelle wrote, does Tesla have a data bias?
Yeah, actually, yes. So you can see a lot of like examples of Tesla driving around carrier like with horses, and then recognizing that as a bus or as a truck. And obviously that's not the case, but they recognize that because they didn't have a lot of training data to recognize those examples that are not really, not really car related, So they can't recognize that well, those algorithms, those types of vehicles. So that's the bias they have. But they are solving that with gathering more data, and what they do have, they have central database of all the vehicles, all the information, images and stuff like that from all the world that their Tesla can drive. So what they do, they put everything under one roof, and they create a search engine around the data and say, okay, we have the problem with our AI, it's not recognizing horse carriers. That's cool. So let's search that database with prompt, I want to have this and this images. They get more data from their database and then retrain the model to recognize better those biases they have. So they are constantly working. Machine learning project is a constant battle against the bias and stuff like that. So obviously that's something that you will need to do constantly and to handle bias. But yeah, Tesla has biases, but they're handling continuously.
Okay, next question I've got, thank you for that, is from Greg, who wrote, and I think I can take this one, can ChatGPT be used to determine valuations in the total addressable market? So the best way to come up with the total addressable market for a sector that you want to invest in or start a company in is just to do a search for what is the total addressable market of industry X, whatever the industry is, and then put in plus McKinsey, because McKinsey has a lot of great reports on that. There's other consulting firms too, like Accenture, that will provide you data, as well as Gartner and Forrester in the technology sector. If you're going to type that into ChatGPT, what is the TAM for any sector, whatever data you get back, what I want you to do is please double check it, because as I mentioned earlier, ChatGPT is quite often confidently wrong. Always do your due diligence. Now, one of the great things about Bing Chat, which basically licenses ChatGPT for, Microsoft's Bing Chat will give you all the sources as well in real time. You always want to double check all the sources. In terms of your question on valuing companies, I wouldn't use ChatGPT for that. The best way to value a company, it's something I teach about. I'm not here to promote my courses though, but the best way to value a company is to build financial statements over 5 or 10 years, and then get your net income that you've derived in 5 or 10 years of your income statement pro forma forecast, and then apply a price earnings multiple to that earnings number in the future, and then discount it to today. And if you have more questions about that, please let me know. And I have a lot of tools and templates that you can use as well to come up with valuation. Okay.
Somebody asked to write our website to the chat. Can we do that?
Oh, yeah, go for it, please.
Can I do it?
Yeah, what do you want to do?
In the chat.
Right in the chat here.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'll take care of that. Okay. Yeah, I got to get if you want to write that now.
Okay. I can do it.
Okay, so Luka's going to write it as me for the website to use. And by the way, Google doesn't allow you guys to, for some crazy reason, I don't know why, you can't type URLs, but we will be able to. And then Luka's going to type that in right now.
Yeah.
Okay, and other
I think that's
information.
fine.
Okay, great. Thanks so much for that. Okay, great. Do you want to give a demo of what we can do with ChatGPT?
No, sure.
Okay, good. Let me go over here, and I will go over here for you. Okay. So this here is ChatGPT. Let me hit refresh to make sure that it's set up perfectly. Go for it. Okay. Why don't you train people on some of the more advanced things you can do in ChatGPT?
Yeah. So should we do it now?
Oh yeah. Yeah. Go for it.
Cool.
Yeah. So the screen is sharing here in the corner there.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. So first off, we are using the Plus version, which is paid version of ChatGPT, as you can see right here, and allows you to switch between two models, GPT 3.5 and GPT 4. The difference between these two models is the case of having like a older model and the newer model with the more data and potentially bigger model. We don't know the infrastructure of this model yet. So what you can do, you can go and type, let's say, build a marketing plan for me. So this is like something that somebody will out there try to ask, and as you can see, like it's immediately telling me to yeah, sure, I can do it, and here is basically what it needs to be done. But this prompt was, you know, okay, but it will definitely generate like a generic generic response for us. It's not optimized for us, it's not optimized for my company, so definitely I like to change it into a more robust or more personalized solution for us. So how to approach that? You have some strategies that will improve your prompt, and that's basically what prompt engineering is, using those kind of strategies to actually help yourself get better personalized results. And let's go through this before improving our prompt. So you can see that it started by saying, okay, here is the outline, this is the high level overview, company description, marketing analysis, and stuff like that. It can't provide directly solutions for this because they don't know what the company is. So how I would approach improving this is, first, use as much detail as you can. Like, details play a crazy role for prompts in your ChatGPT like requires. And what I mean by that is explain, okay, so here is what my company does. I like to build a marketing plan for next so and so years or whatever, and include only these social media platforms, include these many posts per week and stuff like that, because, or I like to have this branding kind of a role inside of that. Now this is like the details version of it. Another one is kind of called system prompting or roles, which you should potentially always start your prompt, is something like this. You are you are a marketing manager with 10 plus years of experience.
We'll correct it, yeah.
Experience, and you helped hundreds of e-commerce, for example, companies scale their businesses. So what I did with this, I gave it already, like, from the massive amounts of data it was trained on, I basically switched it to think about it as a marketing manager. So now any context it was trained on and recognized it as a marketing manager, it will be able to take that into consideration and wording and stuff like that from those texts only to actually provide me better results. So this is the first sentence. Then I'll do something like this. I hired you to help me with writing my own marketing plan for my store that sells shoes, for example. I don't know how to write today. So it's not like this. Shoes. Come on, dude.
That's all right. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I find when I type mistakes, it knows anyway.
Yeah, like, but for people.
Yeah.
So sell shoes. Yeah, branded, or you can explain what type of shoes, summer shoes or whatever.
Right.
So let's go with summer shoes. Summer shoes, and I want to scale my efforts in the pre-summer sale. Okay, so now you explain what you would like to do, and now give it more context, even more, and say, okay, so I want to be present at LinkedIn, not LinkedIn, maybe Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, for example. So now I gave it more information what I would like to achieve and where is my target audience. and you can go and explain target audience in so and so detail if you like. So basically that's what I would give it as it is. Now, one interesting thing is, if I do this, you will get much better results, but I like it to be more structured in a sense, so I can immediately provide, like, visualize it and stuff like that. So I'd say generate output in the markdown format. So markdown is a specific type of formatting where it allows you to structure it with a, like, if you wrote a blog, for example, for Medium, you know, those titles and stuff like that. So that's what it's able to do using markdown. And on top of that, you can go and say, ask me any questions if needed for more information. So let's do it without it, and then if needed, I can add those later. So now what I did is basically provided a lot of information, gave it much better information about, like, what I am and what I like to do, and now it's starting to generate my marketing plan.
It's amazing.
Yeah, and you can see here now instead of placeholders, this is a plan lays down the strategy, like, oops.
Sorry. Yeah.
So strategy that like blah blah blah, and does this, and we are an e-commerce company specialized in fashion, summer shoes. So it's immediately targeting you towards whatever you would like to do with that information. And the output is copy paste. You can put it in, like, a Notion or any platform, and you're ready to do.
It's remarkable, man. Unbelievable. Incredible. So prompt engineering is what ChatGPT is, yeah?
So yeah, like this things that I did it here, like, instead of writing a simple prompt like this, and like it provides an output, but it's a general output. In most cases, like, people will write it like this, it will generate some value to it, but it's actually, you know, not really great thing. But here is what prompt engineering is. You're starting with a description of what it is, kind of a roles. So it's called role-based engineering or system engineering prompt. Sorry, not engineering, but and then you state, okay, I'd like to achieve this, and then I want to generate, like, this and these things, and this is the output. And now you have more and more strategies, like give it a few examples, give it like, for example, now if I do this in a new chat, let me go and copy this, and so it provides a lot of these things, but as you can see, this structure is the same as above. Why is that? Well, this was not the first prompt. So if I do the same prompt in a different new chat, I will get much better results, because it will actually help me. I didn't.
That's right. Copy paste. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So. Okay. Copy. Okay. New chat.
Oh, so when you click new chat, it's not going to build upon what you've already asked.
Exactly.
Okay, gotcha.
So now I'm starting from scratch, and now it will generate better results. But another trick that I would like to introduce now is ask me any questions if you need more info. Got it? And now I added, like, that got it, which is prompting it not to start immediately generating if it has more questions, but ask me if needed. So now, in one case, it will be like it start generating results immediately, or ask me questions. What are my unique selling propositions? Do I already have presence on these platforms and stuff like that? And now I can answer these questions, and we can go and answer these questions right now. And yeah, basically. So start with, let's say, okay, one, what is our unique selling proposition?
Oh, interesting. So you're answering the question, pardon me, for it, and then it's going to build upon that.
Exactly. So can you give me some example? What is our unique selling proposition for our brand?
Of our shoes?
Yeah.
Then our shoes are extra large because Luka is extra tall.
Large shoes for large or told people.
Yeah.
Told people.
Huh.
Okay.
Number 2.
Do you have no presence? Okay. Then I'm going to say, what's your primary target audience? Can you provide? Yeah. So 25 to 35. Male.
6 foot. 6'6" or higher.
Foot plus.
Yeah.
And location US. Then 4 was, what is the budget for the market campaign? Unlimited. Okay, so do you have any specific sales target for the summer? $1 million. 6 is, what resources do you have? Yeah, I have photos, videos, and other things. Okay, and then 7 would be, are there any locations you would like to target for specific locations? No. Okay, so what I did here is, instead of answering all these questions immediately in the prompt, I gave it to see how well it's going to articulate whatever we're going to do. You can go in more details, provide more examples and stuff like that, to get much better results. But with this, you are basically giving more and more information. And like when I type this, I'll get, as you can see, like...
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Now, when I use ChatGPT, I tend to say, in 100 words, do this. Yeah, just short answers.
So
but, yeah.
actually, that's a problem, because like ChatGPT can't articulate itself in a specific number of words.
Oh.
Why is that? Well, it starts generating with the first word, and it goes to next and the next and stuff like that. So what's happening? It does not know when it's going to stop. If you say 100 words, then it will be basically mean that it already knows what's going to be the output. So yeah.
Interesting. Fascinating. Look at this.
Yeah, you got amazing results right now.
It's incredible. And this is probably going to be replacing the copywriting market. Yeah. Or augmenting it.
Yeah, definitely augmenting it, emotional, copywriting and stuff like that. For example, when I hired my copywriter, I said, dude, if you're not utilizing ChatGPT, I will fire you, because you're basically stupid if you're not utilizing that. But what I mean is, yes, you're going to use it, but I definitely want to give you my point of view for my copies and stuff like that. And we are going to iterate based on the copy that we already get as an idea, and then we edit it and stuff and polish it until it reaches point where we are happy with it. Now, if you just copy paste, obviously that's not a good thing, but yeah.
Interesting. Question here is, if we did the same thing in Bing, would we get the same results?
So I think not, because Bing has optimized for a lot of prompt engineering stuff are not working for Bing and for Bard, because it actually is optimized for searching the internet, and it is going to search the internet for you on that topic.
Okay, cool, interesting. And if we did the exact same exercise all over again in ChatGPT, it would come out different answer, right?
We can test it out right now, but it will be a bit different, yes.
A bit different every time. Yeah. Okay. And what about, so professors are using special AI algorithms to check to see if people are using AI. Which ones are those?
You have a Google built inside of its stack of tools. Check for ChatGPT, not only ChatGPT but generative AI tools. Then you have Hugging Face. Oh yeah, so we talked about TensorFlow and PyTorch, but there is a third one which is most prominent one today in the industry, which is called Hugging Face. And
Hugging Face.
Hugging Face, that smiley which kind of hugs,
Okay.
So. When you go to so we can actually test it out.
Yeah.
So can I tap?
Oh yeah. Give me 1 second. Let me put you in the corner and not me. Sorry about that.
Oh, okay.
There we go. Sorry.
Okay. So Hugging Face, and then
we're testing here to see if something was written with ChatGPT.
So this is I'm going to show first what Hugging Face is, and then ChatGPT detector. And now you have the algorithms that's going to basically test if something was written by ChatGPT. And Hugging Face as itself is a set of models that you can use for, like, when I say model, I mean algorithm. So for example, you can detect depth estimation, or you can go in object detection, for example, and you go to this model, whatever. These words does not mean anything to you, but if you go and paste your image, and as you can see, it's a bus, airplane, human, and stuff like that. And I can and you don't have to train your AI, spend all those money, but actually you can go and just give it like this example, and you already have like an algorithm that detects objects inside of it. So yeah, that's one thing. For the detection of ChatGPT, let me copy this result, and I'll copy it from here, and go to detector and paste it inside of, and paste it like this. So I paste it here, and then let's see if it's detecting something. It's error.
Yeah.
It's not on us, but let's find
Yeah.
another detector. Okay. We can potentially use this one.
So this is what teachers use,
So
and editors of magazines and stuff.
potentially, like they are much better than these open source. Like I'm just using first couple of results from Google, so obviously there might be better. But yeah, Google has its own Hugging Face has its own
Detector.
Yeah, and it's not that difficult to train one, because like you have a lot of text that can be used. Chat GPT detector, maybe like this. Okay, and if I paste it, I don't know if there is a limit to character limit, so let's see. If I compute, it's not limited, so that's cool.
And I'm going to scroll up so you can see below the image. Yeah.
Okay. So now I just pasted our marketing plan and said, okay, does it going to be a human or like a ChatGPT? And then we're waiting for that another AI to detect that.
Okay. So for students that write papers using ChatGPT,
Yeah.
the professor might use a product like this to find out if it's using ChatGPT.
Exactly. Yes. And like of course, like if your professor says it's fine, then you can go and use it. Like in my MBA, when I like at York, one of the professors said, "Oh yeah, like you can go and use ChatGPT as much as you like, because you will be stupid if you not use it." So you have professors today that allow you to use it.
Okay. Now, are there detectors?
So you can actually go and kind of do magic tricks on top of that.
You can change it so the teachers don't know.
You can you can give it on your own wording. You can go and like in writing of ChatGPT prompt, you can say, "Here are my writings,"
right?
And you can provide a couple of texts that you wrote.
Right. Yeah.
And because they're going to follow ChatGPT is going to follow you as a kind of a template. Then it's going to write in your own wording and style.
Oh,
so
wow.
it can be less detectable than if I just wrote it like this.
Amazing, incredible, unbelievable. I know a lot of teachers are upset with ChatGPT. ChatGPT is banned in the state of New York now in public schools.
Yeah.
I mean, anybody can use a mobile phone at school to use it anyway. But I remember when Google first came out, the first beta released in early 1999, professors were worried that students wouldn't do research anymore. And the same professors were worried when Wikipedia came out as well. And the same professors now are worried about this. But I think it's a wonderful thing. It allows us to accomplish much more in a lot less time. Yeah, it's great for idea generation. And that example you showed a minute ago about the marketing plan is unbelievable. It's incredible.
Do you want to check what gave it a
Oh yeah. Hold on a second. Sorry. Okay.
Oh, it was too long.
Too long. Okay.
we can decrease it and then predict it again.
Okay.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Like you can use tools like this in detect.
ChatGPT detectors, Hugging Face.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Awesome. All right. I got a question on how many years does it take to become an AI expert? Let me actually rephrase that.
Yeah.
How many years or how long does it take to learn technology skills online so you can get a job in AI?
These days, much less than when I started, because
Yeah.
you have so much content out there. Like, it's only depending on what you like to go, what is your
Right.
target as a kind of a goal for yourself. Like, are you going to be for the deep learning engineer or just machine learning engineer,
Right.
or do you like to do none of this and actually do just data statistics? So it really depends on what you like to do. And like data analyst, you have amazing course on Coursera from Google that allows you to, in 6 months, build skill sets around database administration, providing some insights, working with Tableau, Power BI, and whatever, to create kind of insightful things around your data. So yeah, like a 6 months period is decent enough to start working in like a junior level data analyst job.
Very cool. Awesome. 6 months. Awesome.
Something like that.
Okay, cool. All right. Next question is, how do I use ChatGPT in the agriculture industry?
So I saw a lot of examples that are BS. Please don't do it, but I will tell you. So I saw one company is actually implementing ChatGPT to talk with their plants. And yes, if you are like not toying around and you can build it on top of like your plants, kind of and seeing, oh, cool. I like to speak with plants when I need water. They are going to say I need water. And that's fine. Like in that case, I'm okay with that kind of a chat. But what that company did is basically chat with your plants, which is just randomly doing stuff. So yeah, you can create an interface based on your tools, like detecting water level, hydration, or whatever. Like I'm not from agriculture. Or you can go and with a drone analyze your crops and see what part of the what part of the field needs to be like handled in some capacity, and then ChatGPT can transfer that into human readable language.
Cool. Awesome. Thanks for that. All right. Next up, Priscilla wrote, can you train it to talk using your own way of talking? Also, can I use ChatGPT to build my YouTube channel with images? And if you want, what is two-part question? Number one, how do you train it to talk like you? And then number two, if you want, maybe we can go to give a demo of either DALL-E or Midjourney or Stable Diffusion.
Installed?
On this one, I don't think so.
So we'll definitely shoot for the course.
Okay. Sure.
But yeah, so okay, so how to train it? Okay. So there, like with the prompt engineering, what you saw, like me previously doing that. If I wanted it to talk as I do, I would give it a couple of my texts that I wrote, and I would say, okay, just use this as a reference, and whatever I ask you to generate, use this as a kind of a way of talking. So that's basically how you will point it to the direction of speaking as you would. Okay, so that's basically how you can kind of trick it in a sense of that. Now, obviously, you can go even much more advanced and use like a lot of your writing if you have books and blogs and stuff like that, and you can go and optimize it to like fine tune it and train it in completely from scratch to train on your data. And now you are going to have completely your own model. I don't recommend it. It's going to take a lot of resources and time. So obviously this prompt engineering trick will definitely work. For building your YouTube channel and actually like speaking and your if you're speaking about your voice, there is a can you move me to
Sure.
Give me
1 second. Sorry.
Okay.
Here we go.
Okay. So there is a company called 11 Labs, and that's going to mimic your speak. So you're going to write a lot of text, and now what you can do is say, okay, you can paste like our marketing plan. Obviously nobody will read it, but you can say, okay, cool, now go and read it. Is it going to have sound as
audio?
well?
Let me check here.
Hash e-commerce marketing plan for summer shoes. Hash
Okay,
executive summary. This marketing plan aims to establish a strong online presence for our e-commerce store on Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook, focusing on selling summer shoes for tall men. Our goal is to achieve sales worth $1 million in our pre-summer sale, leveraging our unique C.
See, whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, and you can create like custom voice with your audio. So you can I can record myself like saying this and give it as a couple of sentences. And, like for example, you have a lot of videos.
Yeah.
And now we can give this live stream after the live stream and train it to speak as you or I would.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
Let me try something. Chris is the worst teacher ever.
No.
Okay. And let's go to
Bella.
Bella. All right, Bella.
No.
Bella, tell us the truth.
Chris is the worst teacher ever.
Bella, I agree with you completely. That's amazing. Oh my God, that's incredible, dude.
Yeah.
I used to pay a lot of money to have people
these
do
are-
voiceover. Let's see, Rachel.
These are not real voices. These are generated.
Amazing.
Chris is the worst teacher ever.
Rachel, I agree with you. I got to do one
No.
more here. All right, let's go to Ellie here.
Chris is the worst teacher ever.
Oh my God, that was mean. She spoke fast too. One more time.
Chris is the worst teacher ever.
Okay, there you go. All right, so 11labs.io.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I love that one. And as I said, like you can provide a lot of samples yourself,
Yeah.
speaking, and you're going to build yourself like speaking a voice. And now you can prompt your GPT to generate text and scripts for videos
Right.
with your kind of a wording. Provide it here, you now have a reading, and now you can build videos from Midjourney and stuff like that to like speak on top of that.
That's incredible. Now, you can download it right here. There's a little download button too,
That's
right?
for that audio sample, yes. But
That's
you can register, and there is some pricing model around it.
Yeah.
It's 0% forever for
Yeah.
10,000 characters per month, and create up to 3 custom voice, which is amazing. Like
That's
now,
amazing.
Yeah, and if you would like to have much better, but it's only $5 a month. Like
Right.
for this value, what you can get with this, like $5 a month is nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Unbelievable. It sounds like a real person. Pardon me as well. I know on TikTok a lot of people do voiceovers for explaining concepts. They probably use this website, right?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But 11 Labs is the best one. It's not the only one. There
Right.
are many different examples, but I think is one of the best in the industry.
Right. Incredible. I would use this for crank calling if I was a kid again. Yeah. All right. Too much information. Sorry. How about images? Do you want to give an example of that?
Oh yeah. So for DALL-E, we need to we need to buy credits. So for that it would be a bit tricky to demonstrate right now.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Go for it.
Like see
I
zero credits.
have my credit card there, so you can go for it and do it live.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's okay. Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Good.
They saw this last number.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah.
Okay. So now we bought the credits. Thank you, Chris.
Sure. Please.
So, and you can generate like, and one amazing thing about DALL-E is you can go and
And this is on ChatGPT's website, yeah?
yeah.
Okay.
It's the same company who built the ChatGPT. They built like DALL-E model as well, and DALL-E is for training to generate different images.
Yeah.
And amazing thing is when you go to these like specific like images, you see prompts what people used to generate this, and like this.
That's amazing.
Yeah, this one is, and you can try this example, and you start from this example and build on top of it.
Can we do it?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Let's do this example. So I didn't prompt it. I didn't say anything.
And this is using Henry Matisse style, right?
Yeah.
Oil painting. Okay. Huh.
So here,
Can I try something?
of course.
Okay. Let's do an oil painting of Matisse. I don't know. With a tall teacher and a short, overweight teacher. That's me, the short one.
No.
Teacher. Okay, hold on. Smiling. And if I hit
That's going to be creepy as well.
creepy? I spelled
it can
overweight
be-
wrong. That's
It's
okay.
fine,
You'll know,
but
right?
I hope so.
Okay.
But it can be really creepy sometimes.
Huh.
We'll see now. Okay, so it's not that creepy.
Okay.
And it reversed, so...
Oh, it made the big person overweight.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Henry Matisse. Can I try it again?
Yeah.
Okay. By, I don't know, Leonardo
Ooh, not DiCaprio.
da Vinci. I don't know how to spell it. Let's see how this looks. That's unbelievable.
Yeah. it's amazing what you can do with it.
Jeez.
Oh, nice.
Interesting. And it did the same thing over.
So,
Okay.
so this basically the second one, and everywhere is a cut off head, like with me.
Yeah.
If I go like this, I'm going to be cut off. So,
Oh, right. Yeah. Interesting.
yeah.
Fascinating. What about this? Let's try for, I think the question was about YouTube. So let's go generate YouTube thumbnail of Elon Musk in a Tesla in 8-bit format.
Sorry, we have some Serbian, like maybe my students as well. I don't know.
Didn't work. Okay.
And
Of
yeah.
let's go. Of a car on Mars.
high note.
It's incredible. Can you insert your own images here too?
Of course.
A photo
and
of yourself.
You can edit itself.
Oh, wow.
So like.
Oh my God! Look at that. That's a car.
So
That's a
look at this crazy
car
stuff.
on Mars.
Look at this crazy stuff. So I'm going to take this one, and you can click variations to get more of this.
Right.
But you can go edit. And now here, what I can do is I don't really like this one. Okay. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to switch in here generation frame, and I'm going to generate Mars
sky or something.
sky, or yeah, like mountains.
Mountains on Mars.
Yeah, generate. And now I didn't like that text, that it was not text, but
Yeah.
that part of the image. And now only that part is going to be based on this original image that we just
Right,
got.
right.
And you can expand it as much as you like.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah.
Mountains on Mars. Looks like that's the sun as well. That's
Yeah.
wild.
Yeah. And you can go and expand it, and so you can go in variations.
Huh.
Yeah, like this. I like this one, so I'm going to accept this one. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to upload this and say, okay, cool. Alien on Mars
Okay.
trying to drive a car.
Okay. Generate.
Yeah,
And how much is this? So we paid $15 for
$15
Okay.
for 150. Okay, cool.
150 images.
Amazing. So now we
Yeah.
have this.
Oh, no one can see that underneath us here. Hold on a second. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
So
yeah.
I'll scroll up over here.
Okay, cool.
Huh.
I'm going to remove this one. Okay, so let me try to select what. This is nice.
That's awesome.
But I like this one the best. The first one. This one.
Incredible.
I'm going to accept that one, and now let me expand
Yeah.
the image more.
Yeah.
So we can go like this
Uh-huh.
for some reason, and then say, I don't know.
Donald Trump.
I think it's going to be content restricted.
Oh, it is? We'll try it anyway for fun. Let's see.
Okay.
That was the first thing I thought of.
Oh, that's okay. It's obviously going to be
Okay. Oh, it does not
restricted.
follow our content policy. Okay.
Not Donald Trump.
So, what Dali is Democrat then?
I don't know.
I'm totally kidding. Yeah. This is not a political show at all.
Yet. So
Yeah, yeah.
we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's wild.
Astronaut, sun bathing.
Bathing.
because-
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So it looks like it's got the copyright
this?
stuff already blocked
Sunbathing?
within it.
Yeah. So one interesting thing is, like most people will ask me, companies, a lot of them ask me, should I build something on my own or should I leverage something like
Yeah.
this?
Yeah.
I always say, like, if you build something on your own, you need to build that infrastructure around it. Like, you need to build like infrastructure that prevents the content.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to take this one potentially, but let's see. Okay.
Okay.
Well, this one. Accept.
Astronaut sunbathing. Yeah. You know what's fascinating? I heard that there are people that work in graphic arts that usually charge $40,000 to make video game posters art.
Yeah.
that have seen their business dry up because of this.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Amazing. Amazing. Okay.
Yeah, and you can, as I said, you can go and expand it in any direction as you like.
Can I try something?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, how do I do a new one?
So you can go to this.
Oops, ignore that, sorry. Oh, we got to wrap this up in a couple minutes.
Okay.
Sorry, go on, yeah.
You go this add generation frame, and then you place it where you would like.
Okay.
So place it, and then you write when you're happy with the placement.
Okay, so this can be anything I want here.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so we're teaching a course called the Complete Artificial Intelligence course. I just type Complete Artificial Intelligence course.
Sure. Let's see what.
Complete Artificial Intelligence course. See what comes up for thumbnail. Takes a little while, huh? So it's
No,
thinking.
you have a loading bar there below.
Oh, here the loading bar.
Yeah,
okay,
that's the loading
cool.
bar.
Huh. Okay.
So obviously text is not great.
Yeah.
And you can go in this like arrows below the generation.
Oh, to look at different ideas. What is the wording from?
I don't know.
Intelligible. Okay.
You can remove it.
Yeah.
And then put
try
it in,
again. Okay.
No, but you can put it like in Photoshop or something like that.
Okay. Oh, you download in Photoshop. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And I think Adobe already has AI like this embedded in their products as well.
Yeah.
So so DALL-E is one image generator. There's
Midjourney is another one.
Midjourney, and with Midjourney you have to use Discord.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Stable Diffusion.
It is open source one, and you can build the products around it, but it's definitely like limited to. It's limited to the setup because it requires coding.
Okay. Wow, that's very cool. Okay, couple last minute questions, and we do have to wrap up. All right, Matt, how are you? Matt's from Brantford, Ontario. Good to see you, brother. Okay, and then let's see, any other last questions? All right. 1 second here. So Ashok wrote, I'm a teacher and my passion is to create a course about helping individuals to realize their life purpose and be happy. Awesome. How do you think AI can help me? I'm not technical at all. Yeah.
Okay.
Can I ask ChatGPT to create a course curriculum?
So that's one thing, but you can obviously go to the direction of building. If you have a lot of content of yourself around the topic, you can train your chatbot to basically answer based on like your experience, and now you can provide the chatbot as a kind of a 24/7 support for your students. So that would be amazing. I built one for my Serbian course. It's the worst. Oh, I hate my chatbot.
Yeah.
But yeah, basically, you can do that. You can do that. The other aspects is like you can go and build like a set of promotional statements and stuff like that, content for LinkedIn, for Instagram and stuff like that. So and build the content around it. So ChatGPT definitely can help you like propel that marketing part of it.
It's unbelievable. Look what it just developed here. I wrote here in 150 words, make a curriculum for teaching people to be happy. Okay, your course title is going to be Pathways to Happiness.
I like that one.
That's good, and we can get an image for this too, right?
Yeah.
So I'll copy this.
Yeah,
we'll do that in a
would
second.
be interesting. Yeah.
And then so you're going to start off with Introduction to Happiness in week 1 to 2, yada yada yada, and at the end you got Resilience and Overcoming Adversity. So let's get a thumbnail for your course now. So I'm going to go over here to here.
You can generate a new one.
New one. So let's go back here.
Yeah. So back again.
I'll click here.
Yeah,
okay, good. Okay.
You can paste it. Did you? Oh, yeah.
Pathway to Happiness YouTube thumbnail. Is it smart enough to do that?
I don't know. I didn't test it out.
Okay.
But you can do 3D renders and stuff like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Let's see.
Okay. It's happiness. Yeah. It's not a teaching on how to spell. Pathway. Oh, it's doing a pathway. That's why. Let's go with this one here. Okay. And let's edit this here. And I'll get rid of the writing because I don't like it. Okay.
And then you can...
And I push this button here.
Exactly.
Okay. And then right here, I'll write, I don't know, mountains and...
Happy sun.
Spaceship. Oh, yeah. and happy son. Hit enter, and it's going to generate. This is unbelievable. I've never used this before, but look how intuitive, and if I can do it, anybody
really
can do it.
It's much easier than
Incredible.
Midjourney.
Oh,
Much easier than
okay,
Midjourney.
right. Okay, let's see what came up here. That's kind of a happy son a bit. Let's see what else I got here.
Oh, I like that one.
That's okay.
Oh, it's not. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. That one.
Yeah, so we'll go with this one. Okay, so there you have it. I've got the course curriculum for you already, Pathways to Happiness. And here's the image you can potentially use here. Okay, so I'm going to wrap up the call now. I want to thank you all for your time, but most importantly, I want to thank you, Luka, for coming all the way from Serbia for this call and for our course we're going to be making together called the Complete Artificial Intelligence course. Thank you all, and I'm going to end this call with the usual video I end, which is something I licensed from the Silicon Valley Historical Association. It's an interview with Steve Jobs, which is life-changing. Thanks again, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks.
When you grow up, you tend to get told that the world is the way it is, and your life is just to live your life inside the world, try not to bash into the walls too much, try to have a nice family life, have fun, save a little money. But life, that's a very limited life. Life can be much broader once you discover one simple fact, and that is everything around you that you call life was made up by people that were no smarter than you. And you can change it. You can influence it. You can build your own things that other people can use. And the minute that you understand that you can poke life and actually something will, if you push in, something will pop out the other side, that you can change it, you can mold it. That's maybe the most important thing, is to shake off this erroneous notion that life is there and you're just going to live in it, versus embrace it, change it, improve it, make your mark upon it. I think that's very important. And however you learn that, once you learn it, you'll want to change life and make it better, because it's kind of messed up in a lot of ways. Once you learn that, you'll never be the same again.